Hey guys, Sunday, June the 23rd, 2024. Let's check out our weekly forecast for nat gas. I want to start off with cycles. I haven't done this in a while, so pretty much doing a little catch up on some videos and some things that probably some haven't seen yet. So first off, I want to start out with an old cycle I was following before. This is the weekly chart. I'm using data all the way from 2001 to current prices, and I believe maybe it was last year, maybe the beginning of this year. There was this cycle that I was watching, and it's the 184. And I just want to show you, if you've been following me for a while, you remember the 184 cycle. Remember somewhere around here, around August, July, where I thought this was it. And then we hit our peak on October 27th around there last week. First week of November, and then the market even pushed lower, took out our 194 and made a low 152, right? Remember all that? And I was like, you know what? Maybe this cycle is not working out because normally they kind of follow it. So far, that cycle that I'm not using anymore peaks around September the 30th, just something to take note of. The next one was the 125, which was the same thing. It's very close. It peaks around August 19, but it looks like it didn't really work out. The one that I'm leaning on is the 228, which is this one. Still kind of working, with the past. Pick the peak here, a little, early, but we did our high. What was that? August, around there. August 23rd. And then it went down. February 20th low, and this is that bell curve area where we have possible where it's in the sweet spot. It actually hit the little trough right there, not the little trough, but the trough, right? So it went the low. It's somewhere around this ballpark. You get what I'm saying? And this cycle peaks all the way May 25th of 2026, and this is going to fluctuate. This is probably going to get a little earlier here, or maybe push back. So it's going to dance around because this is dynamic. It's going to move around. It's not going to be next year. This date might move. So I just want to give you a heads up. But in the ballpark for now, so we could kind of know until for next year, somewhere around, you could say June, 1st of June, 2026. So this cycle is going up pretty much all this time. Now, is nat gas just going to go straight up like a rocket to the moon? No, it's gonna fluctuate. It's gonna, it's gonna have some pullbacks. It's gonna probably go sideways. There's a lot of things that it could do, but this is the projection of what the cycle is indicating up until that, till we get there. And then there's the dominant cycle, which is a little smaller. It's fractal. I like using it, especially more on the weekly. And on the weekly, you could see that we hit a peak somewhere around here, around May 13th. You can see that we still went kind of sideways to higher. And now this cycle is down, and this cycle hits a trough or a cycle low. This is a smaller cycle within this big cycle. And this is the strongest one, which is the 26. So this hits a trough around August, maybe 5th, around there. In regards to seasonality, July 1st and 2nd, it normally gets a pop, or it rallies, or grinds higher, however you want to call it. But normally there's like a turning point here. And we kind of put a high. Some say in regards to Elliott wave, this is a wave 1, working on a wave 2. And if it's that July 1st, July 2nd, that could be the beginning of your wave 3. I don't know. That's all speculation. But know that seasonality-wise, between first, second, third, it normally starts grinding higher. Now, in the face of that, regards to spectrum cycle analysis, if that's not going to play out, it could continue pushing lower until maybe August 5th, around there. So if this is your wave 2, it's either July 1st, 2nd, or August 5th, around there, and then start, grinding higher, and that all is speculation. That's all, remains to be seen. Not that this is, financial advice or anything. We're just trying to figure out what nat gas could do. There's a heat wave, and I felt it, Friday? I really felt that heat wave here in Nashville. So remember that. I don't know where you live, wherever you're at, but it was definitely hot here in the U.S. So with all that information, just know that the weekly cycles are up. The diamond cycle are down to August 5th, August 12th, around there, and then they go up again. And this is going to continue going back and forth until we hit this peak, which will shift. Let's go to the daily cycle and see what we have there. So this is the daily cycle, and I am going to use that of 5 years. And you can see I'm using from like 2018 to current prices. So there's one that is pretty strong here, and it's the 253 cycle. 253. And that one bottomed out somewhere around February the 14, and we made a low on the 20th. Now this cycle is going up, and it's going to hit a peak somewhere around July the 28th. So you already know what the weeklies are doing. Now this is the dailies. The daily cycle is going to be hitting a peak, and then this cycle goes down. The dominant cycle, which is 76, hit a peak around May 20th, and this cycle is going down to July 1st, 2nd, which makes sense. I'm not going to say that, we're going to pop here or turning, but seasonality-wise, it normally bottoms between the first week of July. So that's going to be interesting if we're going to push lower into July first week and follow the seasonality and go up with this dominant cycle of 76. Now, just remember that the spectrum cycle analyzer is picking the 253 as one of the strongest cycle. Has a high Bartel of 97.46, and it's here. So one thing I wanted to show you, see, there's this thing called the bell curve where it peaks here and then it goes down, and it's more like a bell curve. And sometimes, hold on, let's see if I can do a better job. Oh, let's see, can I do that here? Maybe not. So a bell curve is like this and like this. I was trying to do a better drawing. Sometimes it peaks here. Sometimes like what's happening here. Sometimes it peaks here and it goes down. Sometimes it extends and price action, and it peaks somewhere around here, and it passed the bell curve from right here, and it peaks over here. Something like maybe like what Nvidia would do. It will go all the way over here, overextended, and then maybe turn on here. But you're in that bell curve. What I'm trying to show is that where it could be a possible turning point. You don't have to wait for it to hit a peak. Sometimes it goes all the way up here, and then from here it shoots down. It happens. It's not like it never happens, but sometimes it does hit the peak. But sometimes it does it early, and then it goes down. Like example right here, it didn't hit the peak, but it's in that bell curve. If you get the bell curve theory right there, and then it tanked. And sometimes, like Nvidia, it'll go past the bell curve and then tank. What I call like a bull trap or a seasonality bull trap or whatever, where it's more extended. Sometimes it comes in early, sometimes it hits the peak, and sometimes think of Nvidia. The frenzy kicks in, it's just chaos. Everybody wants to get in, and it passes the cycle time. It was like blowing off steam, and then it shoots down. So there you go. That's my little tip or 101 on cycles theory there. But keep an eye on July 1st to 2nd. This is where seasonality, where it normally pops and grinds higher, and that all remains to be seen. It'll be nice because then if that's the case, that's your wave 2, ready for a wave 3. Also, in regards to the Elliott wave, and I have to look at the chart, because we got new price action. The monthly was saying this is a wave 4, so there could be a possible wave 5 into the future, and that also is another Elliott wave count. I'm leaning more that this is wave 5 right here, and that possibly maybe this is a wave 1, and then we're going to do a wave 2 and a wave 3. Anything else? I could do a composite since this is daily. So the dominant cycle is 76, and the main cycle I'm using with the highest bar tail is 253. So these are two cycles merged together. And this is the forecast is indicating. Is it going to happen? No. Just telling you that this is a probability, not that this is, written in stone. So it kind of lines up with our seasonality low, where it corrects into July. But I also seen that it does it in the midpoint and towards the end of July, and then it rallies. So this is just, so you get a ballpark. Then it rallies somewhere all the way to like August 11th, and then there is some kind of correction. So we'll see. Let's see what, price action is going to play out towards the end of this month. So this is our commitments of trader report on nat gas. And as you can see, I haven't done this in a while, so I figured I'd do some catching up. This is our low, and this is where large speculators were shorting, commercial were buying. I like to focus on what commercial is doing. And you remember we just kind of went sideways, and then somewhere around here on April the 15th, we started to grind higher. We haven't had all the full data or information we have because we had a holiday and everything. So I think Monday this is all going to update. But I wanted to at least, look in hindsight what has happened. And this was that high they made on the 19th. Commercial pulled back. And then even made another high here, which is interesting. They were thinking it was going even lower. And the large speculators were shorting while we were going sideways here. You remember that? They were shorting. Commercial was hedging. They were buying. And then something happened on the 29th that they were like, uh-oh, we're on the wrong side. Large speculators realized that. They never took out that low, 153, 872, 150. Yeah, they never really took it out. But commercial did, 133, 024. Yep. They even overextended, thinking that from here they were going to push lower. And then they realized, what has happened, this big rally, there was probably a bull kicker, or they just saw prices had a breakout from this consolidation area, and commercial started unwinding their hedges, and large speculators started buying. And then something happened around the 27th, and I can't remember which one was the high. Maybe it's one of these where the high was, which was a 316. Remember that? And the 90 degree and the square of 9. But anyway, everybody stalled right here. And this is where we're at. So we got to see where data comes Monday evening to update us on where commercial is. So right now we're between April the 29th high and the May 27th low. So commercial either has to take out this 60,000 and push lower for nat gas to continue going higher. And that could happen between July 1st, 2nd, or, somewhere in July, because July seasonalities are weak. And then it kind of rallies. And also, that the cycles, there's some that bottom out around August in that time frame. So let's see how the data comes in, and we'll check that out and keep you posted. So this is a seasonality chart, percentage of months in which nat gas closed higher than it opened from 2020 to 2024. And this is a 5-year. You can see that we're in June is pretty strong. In June, but then July gets a nice little bump, and then August is even a stronger month. And that could probably be weather related, the heat, more demand, and then it kind of fall flat, maybe September, October, and then down November. No data for December. But that's just 5-year. Let's see what normally does within 10 years. You can see that July is weak. This is our July 1st, 2nd seasonality, maybe. Or somewhere in July. But I've seen some data that the first week it bottoms out. You get this nice rally into August. Is this going to happen? I'm just saying, it's just a probability. Nothing's guaranteed. And then September and October, it's a little weaker compared to August and April. A little bit above 50%, and then it kind of falls off a little bit. But if this is your wave 1, this is going to be our 2. And, you know, the cycles are up, so maybe this could probably play out, but, you know, we just got to see price action. Go to 15 years, you can see that July is weak compared to May. April strong. So maybe this could probably play out somewhere in July. This is your wave 2 correction into 3. We'll see. And then you see it gets a little choppy here between September, October, November, and then it kind of dies down. And then using 20 years, you see it's like April strong, May, and then it steps down to July. Demand picks up. Then somewhere October, and then it kind of falls down. So this is what I'm watching. What's going to happen in July? Is it going to continue going down for a wave 5, or this is going to be our wave 2 going up? Okay, so this is my Elliott wave chart. You already know about the monthly. We're working on wave 4. I'm not leaning on that, but I figure you guys already know. I've been watching that. I don't want to waste time on that. This is our weekly, and we have a wave projection of 254 all the way down to 236. This right here is the 50 SMA. This is our 20. This is a seasonality, this big green one. So let's see if we're gonna. There's a support here at 271. I don't know where we at right now. I gotta look at the real charts because these are closes. And then there's another big support around 246, somewhere between these wave 4 projections. So let's see if this area is going to hold once it pulls back into the last week of June, first week of July, to see if we get this nice little rally to the upside. Let's look at our daily chart. And on our daily chart, we failed the 20 SMA. This is the 50 right here, 50 SMA, and you got that 235 wave 4. Remember over here, we had a possible wave 4 of 276 and we bounced, but it was a dead cat bounce and then it pulled back. So now the software has adjusted at 254 all the way to 236. And you can see the Stokes already took out this low right here. So now it's going to get nice and healthy for a nice little retracement. This gives the opportunity for the bears to get some price action. And then once we get around this area, this is going to be interesting right here. Because if this holds and we turn around, seasonality wise, 627 and 78 possible turning points. I've also seen July 1st and 2nd turning points. So there's a lot of things happening in this area. So it's going to be very interesting towards the end of the month and the first week of July. Let's look at some stuff here. So we're kind of balancing off the midpoint of the linear regression channel. So this is where, you will take profit. This is where you probably want to get interested. So if 254 doesn't hold this area right here, and you can see that I have a target or a possible turning point right here. Everything is kind of lining up here. You got the 50, you got wave 4 projection of 236, you got the linear regression channel right here. That so far looks like it's been kind of working here. So let's see if it's going to work here. Using our ellipse technique, 627 is going to be very, very volatile. I don't know if this is the turning point, but it's going to be very volatile. Why? Two things. There's a cluster of things. The ellipse technique is indicating right here anywhere between the 26, 27, and the 28th. Volatility is going to increase. And on top of that, when we put our Gann box, there is two clusters of dates that are lining up, the 45 and the 90th day. are lining up on the 27th. So that is like a double whammy. Kind of reminds you of the triple witching, but really nothing really happened because we were unchanged. A few things changed, but the triple witching was pretty much a dead witch, in my opinion. But keep an eye on the 27th. This could continue pushing lower, so let's see. This didn't hold right here. There's another target down here. I don't know if it's going to get down there. That's going to be really bearish, but I think there's going to be a lot of support here. And using the Gann box, there is key levels here. It lines up with the wave 4, which is like 253. This is the smaller one, and then you got the halfway one, which is this bigger one at 247. So right somewhere around here is a nice little sweet spot with the 50 moving average. That if it ever kisses it, I believe it probably will bounce, at least get a reaction from it, especially from traders that follow moving averages. I think that's it for this chart. I know this video is going to be pretty long, but at least you could get a good catch up and a good sense of what I'm kind of leaning and what I'm showing. So I'm looking at some cycles here. This is the 10th. Yeah. It'd be interesting to see how this is going to play out. But yeah, nice little healthy correction into some area. And we already got our timing points. We just have to see price and bounce. We got to see volume kick in. And we got to start making higher highs and higher lows. And then buy on a pullback. Or in this little area and then place your stop, manage your risk. Just in case we're wrong and it really wants to continue lower, you get stopped out and then we can ride the wave down. But it's all on, on your strategy and where you want to manage your risk. Okay, so this is the last chart. I've shown you a lot. Let's look at the weekly real quick. As you can see, point of control on the weekly is around 259. So remember wave 4 projection 253 all the way to 232 around there. This is the sweet spot for a pullback and hopefully will hold. Let's look at our daily chart real quick. You can see within a year, this is a point of control also, which is 265. We never kissed it, but it's trying to hang in there. This is our anchored VWAP. So far, we're above it, so that's good. And let's go and put my Andrew's pitchfork. As you can see, we already cracked this angle right here. And we're back in this angle from these two pivot points. And we could probably get down to the 25%. And also your midpoint right here. This is your value area low on the market profile 237. And there's a lot of support right here. You can see that. Let me take out this interest pitchfork. As you can see, this area right here, especially this area, was a lot of support, even if it gets down there. Let's go into our simple glance chart. MACD is still positive. You can see we are a little below now. We're around 271 around here, below point of control. On the weekly, we kissed our linear regression channel. This is where you want to lock in profit. And now we're pushing back, but there's a lot of support here. Look at the cloud telling you 258. Keep an eye on that. Lines up with the market profile, which is a point of control. This is like your 50% level. So can it go back there? Yeah, and it could probably bounce and see. But if it doesn't, and it bounces and then it pushes in, that's fine, because July is a weak month, and maybe it could probably, maybe it could probably push into August, but we'll see. MACD just turned negative right now this week. So let's see if it's going to continue pushing lower. Maybe to the 0 line. We'll see. On the daily, this is the sweet spot. if you're thinking about going long, in my opinion, you got the 50, you got this support right here, which is a 245. There's a little small one building here, but this is probably the bigger one. More important, 245, you got the 200 SMA, the 50, you crack the 20, you're like dancing around the value area high around 272. So if it can bounce here, it could push lower and maybe kiss either the 200 or the 50 by the time it gets down there. And that would probably be towards, June the 27th, July the 1st, 2nd, and see if we could get this next leg higher here. So far, this looks like a nice maybe wave 1. It may be a 2. And if it goes deeper, you never know, to catch some bears and then bounce for wave 3. Let's look at our non-scale chart. As you can see, we're still in the channel. We're below this one. And if it's going to push lower, they could probably kiss this angle right here. I forgot I've been saying Andrew's pitchfork. What was it? I'm not going to screw it up. APF right here. So these are good areas. You're wanting to go long on that gas. And let's end it with our midpoint chart. Let's start with the bigger picture. So we failed around the yearly midpoint around 318, 317. You had a Tom D. Mark TD9 on the week. Here, pushing lower, what's the biggest level here in regards to the yearly? It will be this 255 right here, which lines up with that wave 4 projection on the Elliott wave chart. And a lot of the stuff with market profile. So it could probably snap back up. Mobiles are positive, no PPS sell signal. We do have one on the daily chart, which is here. And you see that we bounced off this, what is that, 75%. Yep, 75%. And it's kind of like a doji. I believe these are regular candles. Yeah, these are regular candles. So PPS sell signal bounce, fail. Could it bounce and test this 50? It could. And also this is a 280. So maybe if there's a bounce next week or this week coming up, if it fails here, it could probably push lower. I know statistically Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday are negative. Thursday is positive, and then Friday is negative. So the only day positive for this week, in regards to money, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, you'll lose money. It's more bearish. And then Thursday is positive, is bullish. You'll make money there. And then Friday is negative. In regards to the statistical calendar average return by trading days, Monday, Tuesday are negative, and Wednesday's flat. There's a little positive bump on Wednesday, but not by much. And then Thursday's positive, and then Friday's negative. So that's pretty much it. In regards to that. So yeah, negative. Let's see if this holds. If this doesn't hold, another target would be 254, and then your midpoint for the this is the monthly chart right here. So this is 242. Remembering, and that's 227. So yeah, it's between this ballpark here. The bigger one would be this one. This one's 226. I don't know if it's going to get down to 226, but you never know. And for the 4-hour chart, which is the weekly chart, you can see that the extreme for next week will be 253. So that makes sense. That will line up with this right here. It's a big level. So 253. So even if we get a dead cat bounce, or probably dead cat bounce and then continue pushing lower, this is your extreme for next week, 253. And if 253 doesn't hold, then it's going to push even lower. Line in the sand for next week would be 281. So if it bounces and closes above there, that's bullish. The high probabilities of testing these highs are stronger. If we could stay above 280, 281. But those are the levels to the downside. We have our low of 262. Let me open this up so you can see it better. Our low of 262, 267, which is this one right here. And if we're going to go down for the week, 260 all the way to 253. And you can see that the mobiles are still negative on the 4-hour chart. So I'm using the 4-hour chart with weekly levels. And then for the daily chart, which is the 1 hour, as you can see that we were just in chop with PPS buy signal in the hour, divergence, but really didn't really do much. Line in the sand for Monday will be 272. If we could get above 272, the extreme target would be 281. But you need to take out at least 277. So 277, extreme 281. And you got the 200 moving average coming down here. And you need at least get above the VWAP, which is around 272. Lines up with the midpoint, and the mobile is 273. And contingents that this doesn't turn negative at the 0 line. That's it, man. I gave you a lot, man. You guys can't complain. You're getting this all for free. And I'm not even getting any tips or anything like that, or any love. The last tip I got probably was like a month ago, maybe. It was my birthday. Maybe not a month ago. It was this month. Or my birthday. Someone showed some love. But man, you're getting a lot out of me for free, huh? Anyway, I love what I do. I don't even care if I get paid or not. I make money on other things I do. So money's it's not even all about money. I'm going to sign out. Hopefully you have a great weekend this week coming up. Enjoy your family, your friends, your loved one, your kids, and all that good stuff. And I'll keep you posted on my thoughts on that gas.